Hello and welcome to week 2 of sociology. I'm going to have to break this video up into 2 parts because it keeps kicking me out and I'm getting very, very frustrated. Okay, so I hope you are starting to work through some of the kinks that we always have in the first week, especially with online classes. It can be crazy and technology lets us down quite often. So as we move on, things will smooth out and hopefully you're understanding the way that this class is set up and what your expectations are. So hopefully by now you are gaining an understanding of what sociology is and basically why we're here. So when we're thinking about sociology and we're thinking about how much of our lives is affected by what's going on around us, think about your social class. How is your life affected by your social class? If you were raised in a lower social class, what opportunities do you feel like were out of your reach? You know, we can look at education, we can look at healthcare. All these things are greatly affected by social class. And you know, in the United States, we're basically a society that's built on this idea of this self-reliant individual, and sociology challenges that idea. It's saying, like, what's going on around you that's hindering you or helping you? There are way more opportunities for people that are born into a higher social class. And I'm not saying that people in a lower class don't have opportunities as well. It's just there's different things that are available. So sociology is looking at how is the society in which you're raised, the culture in which you're raised, the social structures around you, how are those affecting who you become? Where biology is going to look at how the body works, a sociologist is going to look on what's going on in the world around us. And, you know, really, we can't fully understand what's going on in our lives if we're not taking into account the influence of people and events and social structures going on around us. We really need to look at those things and look at the big picture to get an understanding of our lives. So sociologists are going to study what goes on around people with individuals. They're going to look at a micro look, and they're going to look all the way to a macro look of what's going on in society in general. So, for example, even when you're looking at marriage, why do people get married? So we like to believe that people get married for love, and the truth of the matter is people tend to marry others that they are similar to. We tend to marry people from the same social class, from the same ethnicity, from the same race. So even though people have been allowed to marry people from different races for, you know, a few decades, we still tend to marry people that are similar to us. You very rarely will see a doctor that's married or married to a day laborer or something. People tend to marry people that are similar to them. So also moving on with this, moving on and looking at chapter 2, I really want you to pay attention to just how you became who you are and what your life looks like. So basically in our lives we occupy statuses, and statuses are positions in society that we hold. So for example, I'm an instructor, and I'm a mother, and I'm a friend, and I'm a cook, and I'm a runner, and I'm a reader, and all these things are my statuses. And my statuses that I was born into are ascribed statuses. So my ascribed status is I'm white, I'm female, I was the firstborn, I'm, you know, I'm an American. So my achieved statuses are things that I've had to work for. So the fact that I'm an instructor, that's an achieved status. I had to go to many years of school to get to this spot. The fact that I'm a mother, that's an achieved status. I had to work to have my kids. Being divorced is an achieved status because it's not something that I was born into. It's something that I had to work towards, a little bit. Um, and so we all have behaviors that are dictated by the status that we're occupying at the time. So for example, if I'm with my friends out and about and I'm occupying my status as in a friend, I'm gonna behave far differently than when I'm in my status of teacher. So we change our behaviors based on what status we're occupying at that time. And a role is basically an expectation associated with the status. So in my role as mother, I'm expected to wash my kids' clothes. I'm expected to feed them. I'm expected to get them to where they are. I'm expected to help them with their homework. These are all expectations of my status of mother. This is the role of being a mother. Your role of being a student is you're supposed to do your work. You're supposed to go to class when it's an in-person class. If it's an online class, you need to make sure that you're checking into Blackboard and you're doing your reading. So we all have these statuses that we have and the roles that tell us what we're supposed to do to keep that status. And along with that, we'll have role conflict. So for example, with myself, being a single mom, working full-time, I'm going to have conflict between my role as a teacher and my role as a mother. My kids have lots of stuff that they're involved in, and sometimes I'm not able to go because I have an obligation with my work, and I'm not going to be able to keep my status as instructor if I'm falling back on those obligations because of my role or my status as mother and the role I have as being a mother. So we all experience role conflict, and it can, it can make us stronger, or it can feel like it's going to break us at the same time. Okay, I'm going to start a new video for the second half.